Good morning, everybody. My name is Nicholas, and welcome to Built Different. We are welcomed here with Nancy Aguirre. Really quickly, before I pass it off to Nancy, I just want to do a quick introduction as to why she's here on Built Different. Now, for those of you that have been watching the podcast, this is technically episode 2, and this is really a series where we're interviewing a lot of the top mortgage professionals. But more so than just mortgage professionals, these are people who I believe are some not just amazing business owners, but amazing people. And Nancy is an example of one of these people. She's somebody that I've gotten to know for actually maybe possibly over 2 years now. And them and their team have become very close to us. Anyways, I'll introduce her. So Nancy, co-founder and owner at Your Better Mortgage down here in South Florida. She is an amazing mother of 3 and also one of the top 250 NAREP Latino loan mortgage originators. So guys, big warm welcome. I know you're watching the podcast to Nancy. Nancy, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you, Nick. No, it's an honor to be here and to be the second.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the accolades, they're a badge of honor because they were really hard. I feel like it took me a really, really long time to earn those, but they're definitely something we take a lot of pride in because when we hit top 1% the first year,
Yeah.
it was like such a big deal. And we've been able to keep that title for the past 6 years. So it's been a really, really big deal, especially with the change into the broker side.
Yes.
Like that transition, I'm like, I don't know if we're going to be able to achieve it. And we have. And actually, we learned that it's become easier. So
That's awesome. And you talk about the change into the broker. So obviously, you're not from here. You're not from South Florida, right? You've been here for a long time. But if you could tell everybody that's watching, how did you get into the mortgage industry? Did you choose? Like, did it happen? Like, what was the story like?
Yeah, I think most originators say they kind of fell into it, and I would agree. So my husband was in mortgages. He had his own broker shop. I got an opportunity to start off as like an assistant for a good friend of ours, Frank Slotars. He had become the manager at Washington Mutual, and then kind of worked my way up from that front desk girl to an assistant, and then a couple of years later I ended up becoming an originator over at Regions Bank. I was their youngest originator at that time. I think I was like 21 years old.
Nice.
So yeah, it's been quite the journey.
That's awesome. And then so obviously you started there. What prompted you to move to South Florida? Like how did that move happen?
And so I've always been a very decisive person. When I identify something that I want, I'm like, okay, what's keeping me from it? And then I devise a plan and I execute on it.
Yeah.
And so I fell in love with my husband, and I said, you know what? I got to get my butt down to Miami. And I put together a plan, not one that anyone agreed or approved with, but I did it. And I ended up graduating early from high school.
Okay.
So a little personal background story because it'll be entertaining.
Yeah.
So I went to an excellent high school. I went to Whitney Young. Michelle Obama graduated from there. Like,
oh, wow.
It's a magnet school. You have to test into it. And I told my counselor, hey, I'm going to withdraw because I'm going to homeschool myself my senior year because I want to get down to Miami. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? This doesn't make any sense. I did a bunch of online research. Imagine online stuff wasn't even that popular back then.
Yeah.
And so I did just that. I did just that, and I graduated in 4 months. And put my plan into, turbo, and I brought my butt down to Miami.
Wow.
And yeah.
And so you said you graduated, you finished your senior year in 4 months.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think I mean, it was easy for me.
Yeah.
I think the concern was, you're going to lose this title of graduating from, a very credible high school. How are you going to get
Hmm.
into college? But I actually got accepted into FIU.
Okay.
I had great grades, I had great scores, and I was able
Yeah.
to do that. But as soon as I got down to Miami, I'm just a busy person. I'm like, I need work. I need to do something.
Yeah.
And so I worked in title for a little bit. I really liked like the whole research, clearing title issues, and but that was very short. And then I moved into banking. And I'm just a problem solver at heart. Like
Yeah.
that's what I love to do, and I think that's what has made me a really great originator
Yeah.
because I'm resourceful, depending on the situation.
And obviously, I've had the opportunity to meet almost everybody at YBM, right? Obviously Cathy, huge part, JC, your husband. A lot of people, especially when they want to kind of get into starting a brokerage, they always ask, what does it take to start a brokerage? But you have some really good people in your corner. And I sat down with Cathy at our last office visit when I came to see you guys. I think we talked for 2 hours about like her relationship with you and how you were so welcoming and so supportive through everything, personal and business. If you could talk a little bit about that, you're like having people in your corner, and possibly talk about the people who have helped you succeed at YBM, because we know it takes a team, right? You can never do it on.
Yeah, yeah. I think part of my history has led me to what we have built, right?
Yeah.
Not being from Miami, not having roots. I didn't go to high school here. I kind of had to like figure out things for my own, right?
Yeah.
And it was hard. It was really hard. Like I had coworkers and they were friends, but no one like really like shared how they were doing things or how they were learning or how were they overcoming their obstacles, right? So
Yeah.
I really had to learn that on my own, but I didn't think it was like, why not help someone else, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of took everything that I've learned and I said, you know what? If I ever have the opportunity, I want to be a resource to someone else. And I want to help show them like, hey, this is how I did it, or you shouldn't do it this way. Like really take them under my wing. Cathy is a very, very special person because she really has a desire not only to grow and learn, but to help others.
Yeah.
So I knew how to do my job, but I didn't have like a really big vision for myself. And then Cathy stepped in and she's like, I think we should go after this title. And I want you to receive this accolade or this award. She wanted me to win like Top Mortgage Magazine. And I was like, I'm just trying to close my loans. Girl.
I'm not worried about that right now.
Down. We even had a little argument about it. I'm like, can you stop projecting your visions and goals for yourself? Honey, I'm in survival mode over here. Yeah. But I am so incredibly grateful because it was a wake-up call that you need other people to be cheering you on. And sometimes others can see more opportunity, more growth than you can for yourself. Right. And so we have a great marriage in that sense where like I'm a problem solver, but she's like the visionary.
Yeah.
She's the one that really helps me see a larger goal and then go after it. And it's been great. And we've been able to impart that with everyone that we've brought onto the team.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think every time, I see you and Cathy, it reminds me of me and my dad. Because my dad's always been the visionary, and he's always been the guy that gets to it too, right? Obviously he was an originator for 25 years. When I first got into the mortgage industry, I didn't see the potential that I had that my dad saw. He used to always tell me, "Oh, you're going to be a top 1% within like a year." I'm like, "No, there's no way." I mean, it took me 3 months to close my first deal, and he's like, "Trust me, like you got the charisma." You got the attitude, you know how to talk to people, you care about people. That's what it takes. And, when I first got into the industry, and I think a lot of loan officers out there watching this relate, you never really hear about customer service. It's always about like closing the deal, right? Making the cold calls, doing this, doing that. And I found that actually it was like kind of the opposite for me that led to my success. It was taking my time with the few people that I knew, right, trying to leverage those connections, but also just being genuine with people.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I told a client, like, hey, like, you're actually better off going with this other broker. I think they can get you a better deal. And that's what got him to stick with us, because he was like, I love that honesty. I appreciate it. And like that point, like 1/8 of a rate is not enough to switch me over. And I think when people see it on honesty, when they see that genuineness in you, it makes them want to work with you. And I always say this, like, I, especially when I was an originator, I don't want to just do their purchase. I want to do that person's cousin's purchase. I want to do their sister's purchase. I want to do their refinance. Like, I want to create a fan for life, because our neighbors, my dad had helped them buy their home. And like 25 years later, we're still talking to them, like checking in. Like,
Yeah.
I'm 25 years old. I've known these people my whole life. Like, I grew up with them, and I'm like, oh, like, hey, how's Ernie? He's like, oh, Ernie's doing great, actually, because I saw he called my dad. And I think that's what's beautiful about this industry. Like, Nancy and I were kind of talking about it before the call, how the longer you stay in it, the more you kind of run into the same people, right?
Yeah.
And especially here in South Florida, it's very, very common. I feel like I don't know what it's like in the other markets, but it's something that I definitely see. Anyways, going into my question, so obviously, you have your team, but you're also a mom, and you have 3 kids. One of them having an amazing name, Nicholas. But my mom, she has 5 kids, and I've seen how difficult it is for her to manage that work-life balance. It's not easy, and I can't speak on it personally, but if you can, for all the moms out there, and even the fathers, right? What is it like for you to manage that family work relationship, being a mother, being a business owner, taking care of your health? What does that look like for you?
Yeah. In many respects, it's similar, because it takes a village. It takes a village to close loans successfully and to nurture your realtor relationships and client relationships. And the same applies at home. Probably a concept that took me a little long to learn, but it's unrealistic to think that you're going to be able to do it all. You can't. So you got to decide, what's most important to you. So I've shared it with some of our other loan officers that, they're growing their families. It's really difficult, but you have to decide, like, you know what, maybe hiring someone to do your laundry to buy you back time is the right call, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need to go to the grocery store to do your groceries. You can leverage Instacart, just little things like that, because we all have the same amount. We all get 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
So you really have to be selective with how you're allocating that time.
Yeah.
And that to me has been part of the success, right? Realizing there's only one Nancy, and so there's this long laundry list of things. Probably half of them I don't actually need to be doing them, and I can dedicate, my time with being present and being with the kids and attending those matters, opposed to all of the household chores.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, I don't have any kids, but when I was an originator, and I'm like you guys are going to hear me repeat this all the time, but it is a struggle to try to do everything. I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. Me, I'm a big person who values like fitness and health. I like taking care of my body, because I truly do believe that I want to be as healthy as I can be for those around me, right? Like, I want to be here for a good while. And I think health is very important. So managing that, managing work, managing my relationship with my girlfriend, managing my relationship with my friends, with my siblings. I have 4 siblings, right? I'm the oldest. It's very difficult, because you kind of almost always want to be everywhere all at once. And, sometimes you put a little bit more energy into one thing and you realize you're pulling energy from another. And I used to always look for a work-life balance. But one of my favorite coaches that I've ever worked with, his name is Richard Milligan. One of the most amazing coaches out there. He's a recruiting coach, and he always told me he said, Nicholas, life is not a balance. It works in rhythms. It's kind of like music, right? There's a harmony. Sometimes things are up, up, up. They're down. They're up and down. It's constantly changing, and you can't expect it to be 50-50 or 25, 25, 25, 25. You can't expect it to just cut the whole pie in even slices. There's going to be some days where you're going to have to invest more time into your business. There's going to be some days you have to invest more time into your family, into your health, into X, Y, and Z. But it's important, obviously, that you're not beating yourself up about it. And that was something that took me a long time to understand. And even till this day, I think, as a business owner, we struggle with it, right? Because, it's like, man, our numbers aren't where we want them to be this month. Let me put in extra more hours. But then you're also looking at your home and you're looking at other things. And it's like, oh, but I don't really want to neglect that. So it's definitely very tricky. And I think for me personally, the sooner that I found out that, once again, there can't be an even balance, but it's more like a rhythm and you kind of go with it. And obviously, always reminding yourself of what's most important. Like, for me, I think family is the most important. So the way that I wire myself when I'm putting extra time into my business is I'm not necessarily saying to myself, I need to make extra money, I need to do this. Obviously, yes, that's necessary. But I'm saying I'm doing this so I can get back time with my family, right? So I'm kind of just trying to put my family at the forefront. And that also reminds me, hey, when I'm checked out of work, I'm checked out of work, right? Yes, we're always working as business owners, but when I'm with my family, I'm with my girlfriend, I'm with my friends, I try to be as focused as I can be. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Well, you do need to be intentional about it. I think Jim Rohn was the one that said, when you're at work, be locked in and focused on your work. But oftentimes people are at work and they're thinking about what they should be doing in their home, and then vice versa. Now you're at home and you're thinking about work, and you just really need to be present and intentional with whatever it is that you're supposed to be focused on at that time.
Yeah.
But mortgages isn't for everyone. Listen, I gave birth to
please
2 kids.
Say that. Yeah.
With a laptop. I took a laptop. And for many, many years, I have traveled with my laptop because you never know. And I think now that we've built, a solid foundation, and we do see the benefit of teamwork and having that cohesive communication, we are able to go on vacation and enjoy ourselves. And we want it to be that way for every single originator on our team.
Yes.
Like, when you're gone, we want you to enjoy yourself, and the team's going to back you up, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're going to sit on your pipeline call. We're going to see what's missing. What do you need help with? Because it is necessary. It's you need to have downtime for your family.
I agree. Yeah. The countless amount of like little trips that I would take, and I would always have my laptop with me. And it's just crazy. I think that's like a universal thing every loan officer goes through. And you said it, Nancy, mortgages is not for everyone.
No.
I was a very successful loan officer. I'm not saying this to brag, guys. I was a top 1% very quickly. I was doing really well. At a point, me and my brother were doing almost 10 to 20 loans a month. And everybody would, that knew me was like, why did you leave? And it's because, quite honestly, for me, I just didn't have a passion for mortgages as much as I thought I did. I always liked helping people. And I realized, and I used to always complain. I'm like, man, every time I talk to loan officers, it's almost like there's like some competition, right? Like there's like an ego thing. It's like, we can't work together. And I'm like, I wish I could work with other loan officers because I relate to them so much. Like, I understand the struggles they go through. Real estate agents, I just can't relate as much because I was never a realtor.
Right.
But it was never the same relationship that I have with realtors as loan officers, because loan officers, it was like, hey, I'm never really looking to get anything out of you. If I'm being honest, when I was working with agents, it's almost always like, yes, I want to be your friend. I want to do all this. But at the same time as well, I need to put food on the table. If I'm going to be talking to you all day, I need to get a lead. I need to get, or whatever. I may be reciprocating that referral, but we need to close these deals. And when the opportunity for Leaf 360 stemmed up, long story short, I mean, if you guys have listened to me talk, you know how Leaf 360 started. But really, Leaf 360 started as a solution for our mortgage company. And when I saw that we could help other mortgage companies, I talked to my dad and I talked to the team. I was like, guys, I don't think I'm going to be an originator much longer. I think I want to go full time helping loan officers, because for, I think, 2 years, even when I was doing my best, I don't want to say miserable, but I wasn't my happiest. I always felt like there was something missing. I felt like my life was out of balance. And when this opportunity stemmed up, I was excited. I was like, yes, I'm going to get to work with originators. And the reason I'm talking about this is because Nancy and her team were the very first company that they were our guinea pig. They're still our guinea pig. They were the first people, you guys were the first people that we ever got to work with. And we got introduced by Albert, obviously. And then there was that amazing partnership. And you guys trusted us from day one to help you with all your, your tech needs and whatnot. But just, coming to your office and every single experience that I've got to come visit you guys in person has reminded me that this is what I love doing. I really love being able to, regardless of the long days and the long nights, being able to see like, okay, we're actually helping these people. And for those of you that are, kind of getting into the mortgage industry, if you're thinking about just doing it for the money, you might be in the wrong place because there's like I see a lot of people, they get into it because like, oh yeah, you make so much money, real estate, etc. But if you don't have that passion, it's gonna fizzle out very quickly. I mean, that's just my personal experience, I guess.
No, and we're so grateful for the introduction because we left retail mortgage lending, right? Where you had all of these resources and all of these systems and so much infrastructure. And yes, we were closing deals, but I'm like, we need a system. We need a workflow. Like everything needs to be in sync. We need communication. And we're so grateful that we have an intro to you guys because you really helped us achieve that, right? And now what you guys have built, I am so excited. I'm like, why don't more people know about this? I mean,
they don't know yet.
It's life changing. I don't know if it's because we have had that experience with a big retail lender of what that looks like. But it's going to revolutionize the way mortgage brokers operate. Like if you really execute on it and you put it to work, the efficiency is going to go through the roof. I'm super stoked. I'm so glad that we get to be the guinea pig.
Yes.
We want to get all the kinks out of the way and put it in action. It's awesome. And it's awesome being around like fresh, young people like yourself, like Cathy, the whole visionary. Like I'm getting older. I'm like, I don't want to be like my parents that I only know Facebook, right? Like I don't want to be like the old originators that they're just stuck in their ways and they don't want to learn something because there's so many advancements with AI. There's so many things to make your life easier, and you do need to adapt and you do need to implement and try new tech. Because if not, like not only are you gonna plateau, but you're gonna die off.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
There's so many changes in the industry. You see it all around us.
Yeah. And you talk about systems. For anybody watching this call, I don't want you guys to listen to Nancy and think I got to go get the fanciest tech, right? Don't do that because it's like I always say this. It's like getting a Ferrari, but you don't even know how to start it. Systems are important, people, like very important. And I've personally seen like Urban Mortgage, the system that they have, and she's being very generous. Like I really do appreciate it, but they have a really well-oiled machine. You need to have the right people. I've seen successful loan officers with just spreadsheets, right? Now, I'm not an advocate for spreadsheets. I don't recommend it. I would recommend having a CRM, having the right tech at your disposal. But if you have the fanciest tech and you don't have any support or the right system in place, you're not going to go anywhere, right? And at Your Better Mortgage, they have people. Like they have, kind of like Nancy was talking about. You were saying it. You want your people to be able to go on vacation and enjoy it, and you can't do that without a system. Like you need a system to do that. On the topic of that, obviously, I'm assuming YBM has had some really good days, and I'm assuming they've had some really bad days. Can you talk about, for all the loan officers out there that are looking to start their own brokerage, or maybe that have a brokerage, what are the biggest struggles that you faced, that you're currently maybe facing, and how have you overcome them? Because we know as business owners, there's always going to be struggles. It's never perfect.
Yeah, we're human,
Yeah.
right? So we have systems, but it still requires a lot of self-discipline in
Yeah.
making sure that those systems are being implemented on the day to day, right? So
Yeah.
every time we see, like, even if I deviate a little bit or anyone else deviates, and then that's when you start to see things, crumble apart. Which is why I'm so excited for the for the upgrade, because a lot of these CRMs still require a lot of manual involvement,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of manual involvement. So I love that this new version that you guys came out with, it really is automated. Like, it
Yeah.
truly is automated.
Yeah.
But having said that, you're absolutely right. You still need to have the self-discipline to realize, like, you have certain tasks. Those tasks are there to serve as a reminder, and you got to execute on them, right?
Yeah.
And they're really designed to help you map your day, because it happens to all of us. If you walk into the office and you don't have a game plan for yourself, next thing you know, it's 4 o'clock,
Yeah.
and the things that you were supposed to really, really get to, you didn't get to, because
Yeah.
you have all these crazy calls and emails and things, being
Yeah.
thrown at you. And in my opinion, that is like the hardest.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing. And when you're building your own brokerage, you realize, oh my God, wait a minute. I'm the IT person. I'm the HR person. I'm payroll. Like, you start, who's doing the compliance? Who's doing the
Yeah.
lender approvals? I think those are a lot of things that are that a lot of people underestimate, or
Yeah.
don't have on their radar, just for lack of knowledge. You don't know any better. I mean, we've been really, really fortunate that everyone has been incredibly helpful. I mean, Cathy and
Yeah.
I have worn so many hats, and little by little, we've been able to plug in, different people into different roles to help, even out that load. But it takes time, and
Yeah.
it takes true team players to do it. And there still are a lot of long, long work days, but it's getting easier, and it's so rewarding to see the growth and to see the improvement and to see the success of the other loan officers. Like, that's really what
Yeah.
encourages you to, okay, we're on the right path.
Yeah.
And it's just step by step, day by day. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. You said long work days, and I relate to that now more than ever. I mean, Cathy and I were talking, saying how some days, like, we were both like, man, we're up till 1 a.m. just working on things, right? And a lot of people, once again, for those of you that are looking to start a brokerage, or maybe you currently have one, there's a lot that goes on outside of the regular business work hours, right? Like, you can work in your business, and then you also have to work on your business. And I've realized that, unfortunately, 9 to 5 is not enough for us, what we're building here at Leaf 360. It just does not work. It took me a long time to understand this, because when we first started Leaf 360, I don't want to say there was a lot of demand, because there wasn't actually, but it was because there was no demand. It was easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, okay, we don't really have a lot on our plate. I'm still an originator. Like, I'm kind of doing both right now. So let me just see what comes out of it. And then, as the demand started to increase, and I mean, it got to the point where people are literally just signing up because they come from my YouTube channel, which I'm like, oh, that's crazy, because I don't really get that many views. But hey, if you like my videos, I'm happy to hear that. And then now I'm starting to realize, like, okay, I really have to spend a lot more time working on the business, because at this point, this is becoming, like, Leaf 360 is becoming a serious thing. I'm no longer originating. This is going to be replacing that. And I underestimated how much work it was. and I almost look forward now to working a little later. I know it sounds weird, but it's like you said, when you're starting to see the success of those around you and how you're changing their lives, I'm like, man, I can't go to sleep. Like, I gotta get this done. I gotta get that done. I mean, I was talking to Christian, my dad, and he's literally up till 3 a.m. half the week working on coding with our developer, and little things like that. And it's because he's very passionate about it. Me, I can't sleep. I have to get some good sleep, because I'm more of a really early person. But once again, that's how our team functions, right? We have people that are going to pick up where others drop off, right? Christian and Thabo, they're the late night guys. Me, I'm the early morning guy. So we work well together. And I think for those of you that are looking to start a brokerage, or you already have one, you need to find a Cathy. right? You need to find a JC. You need to find people that are going to be like how Nancy has on her team, that are going to be there, that are going to support you in those long days, that are going to be willing to pick up the slack, because it's really what makes a successful business is what happens after hours, and before the day starts. I think you see that in every industry.
Like your way of thinking, it's no longer just, okay, well, how do we get more loans, through the pipeline? It's like, oh, that's not even the big problem. Like you have to start thinking big, and now there's so much competition. There really is a lot of competition if you think about it, right?
Yeah, especially in South Florida. I mean, it's crazy.
100%. You have social media, you have AI, you have like all these online lenders, you have
Yeah,
banks. You really have to think outside the box of what type of business am I going to go after? What's going to be my value proposition?
yeah,
How do we continue to improve our system and really lock in relationships, right?
yes,
And to your point, I agree. Like I can't imagine being just like a 1-800 order taker. Like that's not fulfilling for me.
no, no, yeah,
What really makes my job meaningful is the relationships that I built with my realtors. Like I genuinely care for them. I
yeah,
know you, I do life with you, I want to know about your family. Like it's like I always tell Cathy, it's a marriage, it's a commitment,
yeah,
the commitment to do right by them,
yeah.
right? Like there are days where you're like, oh my God, I don't want to call another person. And then
Yeah.
you realize like this is like I wouldn't be doing the right thing for my realtor partner.
Yeah.
You have that relationship there. And the same with, your loan officers, right? They're an extension or representation of your brand. And so you want to see them excel. And
Yeah.
and oftentimes people just need a little extra support. They need this is not a job for a lone wolf. It really
No.
requires a lot of teamwork. Two heads are better than one, right?
Yep.
Oftentimes, like troubleshooting, figuring things out. Sometimes you just need to like vent with someone. Um, no, and it's part of what has made it a lot more enjoyable for everyone.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people, even if they're having success in whatever their current situation is, if they're doing it by themselves, they miss that community. They miss that camaraderie,
Yeah.
being with other people. And now so much of this job is done remotely. I mean, we still
Yeah.
have clients come in, not like it once was.
Yeah. No.
Pre-COVID, like almost every single
Oh my
pre-COVID consultation
goodness.
was in person.
2019, 2020, 2020. It was
Yes,
crazy. Yes.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So COVID really changed that, but I think at the core, we're still people that like relationships and community and making a point to be present and making those connections with your clients and with your realtor partners, really makes a big difference.
Yeah. There's two things I want to touch on with that. I mean, you're literally giving me questions. um, we talked about remote, right? So for me, I was one of those loan officers that excelled in person because I got all my business going to open houses. I was doing open houses every day because as a loan officer, I wasn't making money at first. I wasn't closing deals. So I said, okay, I got all this time. Let me go try to meet people. I'll go to realtor office. I go to open houses. I would invite clients to our office. I wanted to really because I know when I'm in person, like I'm really good. That's just how I am, right? On video, I'm really good. Over the phone, you don't really get to see Nico. You don't really get to know who I am. So I was like, how can I maximize my best trait, which is speaking? You guys know I talk a lot. So that really worked for me. And then COVID happened, and I think that's where I started to see my decline because I wasn't as passionate. Because I was like, man, like everything's online now, and if I knew what I knew today, I probably could have kept up with it, I guess, getting into like the online platforms, doing video calls all day. But at the time, I really wasn't into that, I guess. And that's where I started to see the decline for me. Nancy, you talked about it. You need to understand your strengths, right? Like my brother Gabriel, he is not a in-person person. Gabriel is excellent when it came to cold calls, and like he was like a manager, if that makes any sense. So the way our relationship worked was I go in person, I meet everybody, I collect their information, I give that information to him, he follows up. I mean, he is on point. Like when it came to you got to do the job, he didn't even question it, right? He always looked at it as like, so what? I got to call 100 people. I get to do that. That's his mindset. Me, I'm like 100 people. No, man, I'd rather go drive and do an event and do this. Like that's how I am. So we worked really well together. You have to know your strengths and weaknesses. I I got with a mortgage coach, and all he was telling me was cold call, cold call, cold call, more cold calling. And I'm like, I'm paying thousands of dollars for somebody to tell me to cold call. And they're showing me like a spreadsheet system. I was like, this is crazy. And I wasted my money there. I'm not going to name it, obviously. But there were people on there eating it up. They're like, oh, yeah, this is the best thing ever. I'm going to create this manual spreadsheet, and I'm just going to call people all day. And look, there's nothing wrong with cold calling. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But as a coach, you should know who you're talking to, right? As a business owner, you should know the strengths and weaknesses of the people that work there. I don't know if you guys have anything that you do to kind of evaluate, like where do people excel? Like, do you guys do any kind of like disc profile or anything like that?
I've been really blessed to work with a lot of our teammates for many, many years. But
Yeah,
it's so interesting what you say because it's true, right? Like one style, it isn't necessarily a one size fits all,
at
right?
all. No, no.
I think it is important to like share what's working for you because you can kind of pick and tailor it to your own way of
Yep.
transacting. And you do need new ideas. But
Yeah.
like Robert, for instance, Robert is all about relationships, like building that rapport, his sphere. He's very involved in his church and golf, and he
Yeah.
he has really built his book of business from his sphere, and he does
Yeah.
an amazing job. And then you take someone like Christina. Christina's super outgoing. Like
Yeah. I see
she's
that.
amazing in front of the camera. She's a natural. She has no problem. She does wonderful at networking events. She has a really, really vibrant
Yeah.
personality where like that's not Rob's thing.
Yeah.
Rob doesn't really like networking events, and that's
Yeah.
okay. He'll do a video, but it's not his thing. So
Yeah.
you do have to, you know who you're working with and what
Yes.
style works for them, and then try to curate a business plan, a marketing strategy that that's going to help them shine, right?
Yeah.
Help them shine in their own right. Lissette, interestingly enough, she does amazing over the phone.
Really.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hates hates the video, like, and she's like, I can't. She'll do a still video, but nothing that really requires her to like speak. She's
Yeah.
not hearing her own voice.
Yeah.
But you hear her on the phone,
Killer.
you're like, so anyone would think that she's been doing this forever. She really hasn't, but she's amazing. She's
Yeah.
amazing on the phone. She's just very confident, very secure about what she's sharing, and yeah, to your point, everyone has a different style. Like my
Yeah.
style is more, I like to educate, right?
Yes, I see that.
I like to map things out. This is the problem. This is what the solution is going to be. We have plan A, B, and C, and taking that and sharing that with our realtor partners and helping them, become better versed in mortgages, which is essential to their
Yeah.
success. So yeah, we all have our own style.
Yeah. For anybody looking out for tips on how you can maximize your efforts as a loan officer, I think this part of the call is extremely important because you're going to get caught up in a lot of best ways to do certain things. The best thing you can do is understand who you are.
Yeah.
Very similar to Nancy, I love mapping things out. I love educating people. Like it's the same way at my church. I coach my siblings. Like I always like being in a position not where I can tell people what to do. I don't want to say it like that, but where I can draw on my own experience and help others. Like that's just what I love to do. So when I was looking to get business from real estate agents, I started like a series where I would call all of them and I would invite them to hop on a one-on-one call with me. And I would literally sit there and ask them questions about their business. And then I would say, okay, I'm going to map it out for you. We're going to look for holes in your business and we're going to see how we can plug them in. And they were so grateful for that. Like, oh my God, like my broker never did this for me, or I've never seen it this way. And I was able to get a lot more referrals out of them. That obviously, yes, that's great. But most importantly, I was able to build a relationship. And then all of a sudden, they're introducing other agents to me. And like now I'm like meeting all these people and it's more than I can handle. Having an LOA, absolutely. A loan partner. If you're a loan officer, I highly recommend it. It's gonna save you a lot of time, a lot of headaches, right? And I was very grateful for that. And I spent a long time just cold calling. And I think I spent months being miserable. I was like, I hate this. What am I doing wrong? Like I'm a good speaker, but I suck at cold calling. And it just wasn't for me. And I mean, my brother, he was amazing at it. I knew loan officers that were closing 10, 20, 30, 50 deals a month doing it. I was like, there must be something wrong with me. There wasn't anything wrong with me. It just wasn't for me. That's just the truth.
Yeah, it's their style. It's their style. And I think you said it right. Like people don't really care how much you know until they know how much you care, right?
Oh.
So you were really able to shine in that light. Taking your time to help them in their business, without it necessarily being mortgage related. I mean, we do that too. Like we do our weekly calls with our real estate teams, and it's not always about the latest product or the
yeah. I guess that gets boring real quick.
It does get boring. Like we're running a business, we're in sales. You need to tap into like different resources, different styles, motivation. It's not just exclusive to mortgages, right?
Yeah. And going back to the remote topic, you guys still have an office, which is like very rare for a lot of people. I know because we work with a lot of mortgage companies, and we got rid of our office at a certain point. I loved having an office. I mean, it was amazing, like the chemistry. And as a solo loan officer, you might say, I don't really need one. But can you talk about like why you guys still have an office, how it's maybe helped your team, and are you possibly leaning away from it, or what does that look like for you guys?
No, we are. First of all, we started with very humble beginnings.
Yeah.
And we're grateful for that too. But no, our new office is something that we're all really, really proud of because number one, it's awesome. A representation of like everyone's hard work and that we were able to like move into this larger space. More, the loan officers, even the ones that live, quite a bit away, we're seeing them in the office more often. They're bringing in more realtor partners, more clients. So I think overall, it has been something great for all of us, right?
Yeah.
The energy and the atmosphere. And, sometimes it's easier to just hop over to someone's office and ask a question.
Yeah.
Than if you're at home. Because if you're at home, you're like, oh, maybe they're busy or maybe this or maybe that,
Yeah.
So it's been awesome. It's been awesome. We're really excited, really proud of the new space that we have. So no, I would not want to go remote.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have the flexibility when necessary, but no. We like having a space.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's, if you guys, for those of you that are watching, if you can have a space, I'm like 10 out of 10. I always vouch for it. Leaf 360, we just officially went remote not too long ago. Obviously, being in software, it's a little bit different. We really didn't need an office anymore. I was like, okay, like this is an expense that we don't need. But as a loan officer, just being in that environment where people are making calls, where people are inviting, like when I would see other loan officers bring realtors or clients in, it actually motivated me. I'm like, man, I should do that too. So it's very motivating. And I mean, can we talk about like the food, the cafecito, right? Like just making the office a home. I think you guys have done something very similar to what we did, where your office feels like it feels homey, because a lot of people will get into an office and it's like, it's very officey, where it's like, oh my God, I don't want to be here.
The vibe here.
Yeah. 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 You're.
This is not your. I mean, we joke like this feels like a mortgage fraternity more than like a mortgage establishment. But that's only because that we're all so close knit.
Yeah.
Uh, nah, it's been awesome, awesome. And you're right, it is motivating. It is
Yeah.
motivating. Like if you're watching like Christina filming her video, or
Yeah.
someone is like when Tony's here in the office, like the kid just locks in, he just starts, making a ton of calls, and,
Yeah. He's good.
and he's a cold caller. I don't know
Yeah.
how he does it.
I don't know how he does it either. I've met with him a
That
few
one's
times. I'm like, dude,
hard.
you're awesome.
That one's
Yeah.
hard, but being in this environment, even if you're having a rough day, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah. You had that support. I wanted to ask you just a few more questions. I'm not going to take up your whole day. But for somebody that's looking to get into the mortgage industry or possibly start their own brokerage, what advice would you give them? If you can go back to your old self, and what would you tell yourself?
Someone that I guess it's a two-part question, right? Someone that is looking to get into the mortgage industry with like no history, I would definitely find a mentor and like
Yes.
work underneath them.
Yes, that's necessary.
It is so essential. There's so much you don't know. There's still so many things I don't know.
You're still learning every day.
You're still learning every day, but having a mentor, right? Like someone that you can just I remember craving that when I was a new loan officer. Like I just wanted to hear how people were having their conversations. Like how did they
Yes.
answer these questions, right? And being able to mirror that is so important. And if you have a mentor, I always say like the hardest part in mortgages is actually getting the business. Right?
Yes.
If
Yeah.
you can get the business and you have a mentor, we can do the deal structure, we can learn the guidelines, we could teach you that piece, but really the most difficult part is actually getting the business. So for someone new, 100% you need to find a mentor. Like this is way too hard for you to just dive in and think that you can do it on your own. So an LOA position, anything, entry level like that will allow you the opportunity to work with someone else.
Yeah.
And then for those wanting to open up a brokerage, make sure you have help. Make sure you have help. I mean, it really depends on like what you want for yourself. But I've even given it thought, like, well, what if I were just doing this for myself? I think I wouldn't have the same opportunities that we have now because we have a team, because everything falls on you.
Yeah.
When you're working for someone else, you don't have to worry about your compliance, your call reports, your lender approvals. Was there an early payoff? There's like all.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Insurance, IT. There's so many things that go into it. But I will say the beauty is that you can build whatever you want, however you want it.
Yeah.
Right. You just you need to look for it. So having a partner like Lead 360 has really helped us. And then you start branching out all these different areas of your business. Marketing is really, really important, right?
Yeah.
Especially in today's date.
Like, so much marketing is necessary. I mean, everything is online.
Who does flyers? Like, no one's really doing mailers. I don't know.
We still get requests for that, by the way. I'm like, really? Like, come on, guys.
No. If you think about like radio, people aren't really doing radio. Podcasts are huge. Have you seen that in Netflix? I just came across it. I was in Netflix. There's like a whole section of just podcasts now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane. And it's every industry, but like NFL players, basketball players, right? Real estate agents, mortgage, like loan officers, construction company owners. Like you see everybody, and obviously influencers doing podcasts. I obviously that's why we're here. I think podcasts. I didn't want to get into the podcast scene at first, but then I realized like, okay, I know too many amazing people that Like they're just known as loan officers, right? And myself included, I was like, people just know me as a loan officer. I want people to see who I really am, and obviously that's why we have you here, Nancy, because like, you're awesome.
Well, podcast definitely allows you the platform. I heard someone, I think his name is Amir.
Amir Said,
Yes,
or yes,
yes.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was listening to him. He was being interviewed by Mortgage Coach, right?
Hmm.
I'm like, he's so right. So he was talking about like whatever platform you focus on, you have to like consider your audience, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's a little he doesn't have a lot of hair on his tongue. So he was saying, you know, you have your TikTok audience, and he says those are going to be great followers, but they're probably not going to be like your ideal borrower,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
no.
So he was sharing about like the differences between TikTok, Instagram, and then he mentioned YouTube and LinkedIn. And the truth, like
Yeah,
I haven't really listened to a lot of, or I haven't really searched a lot of YouTube unless it's really a topic that I want to do like a deep dive on. And I'm like, you know
yeah,
what? You're so
exactly.
right. Like I'm listening to this interview that's an hour long because I really want to learn and hear what he has to say. That a
Yeah,
short clip on Instagram and TikTok is just not going to cut it, right? That's
no.
just going to give me like the highlight reel. But so he was saying that your audience on YouTube is actually an ideal audience, and LinkedIn too, because those are people that are really, really craving to learn
Yeah, they're more
about
invested.
whatever topic it is that you're speaking about. I was like, oh wow, that's really interesting, and you're more likely to have success with
Yeah,
that type of audience.
for sure. I mean, we see most of our conversions at Leaf 360 come from YouTube and Facebook. Now, Facebook, that's because there's a lot of communities for
Yeah,
mortgage and real estate professionals. But we link, so all of our short clips link back to our long form videos on YouTube. And the reason we do that is because the way that I try to set up our YouTube is if a loan officer were to Google this, I want them to go on my YouTube. I don't necessarily care for somebody to find me on YouTube. It's more so I want them to find me on Google, or, on whatever browser they're using, and then I pop up like that. So that's really important, actually. Yeah, I know a lot of loan officers that stress about social media, and I'll tell you guys this: you don't have to worry about, like, when I say don't worry about TikTok and Instagram. Yes, it's great, but what I would say is long form educational content is going to do you a lot better than just a bunch of clickbait stuff that's just short form, because people are just going to kind of scroll through it because that's all they're getting flooded.
yeah,
So you want to give real, genuine value. You want to provide value, because otherwise you're going to add to the noise, right? So you don't want to add to the noise. Now, look, there's going to be people out there that are saying, you're wrong. Yeah, I probably am, right? It's fine. You can kind of skin a cat in many ways. But just in my experience from what I've seen, it's like we said, it's a very saturated market. Do something to stand out.
yeah,
Last,
and,
okay,
and that's I heard especially with AI, right? Like
yeah,
AI doesn't do well with just vague descriptions. Like
yeah,
if
it
you
doesn't.
want AI to start recommending you, then you really need to start putting yourself out there, but like very specific, right?
Yeah,
You know, I'm a first time home buyer specialist serving, you know, I don't know, the town of Miami Lakes or whatnot.
yeah,
Like you have to be so specific.
yeah.
And obviously the YouTube platform really helps you do that a bit
Mhm.
more than say an Instagram or a
Yeah,
TikTok.
it's just constant scrolling. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. It's true. When we were in your office, we asked our AI to speak Hialeah Spanish, and 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 that's important. You got to know your audience, right? Like if we're down here in Miami, I need to speak a little bit more Cuban, a little bit more possibly Venezuelan, a little bit more Colombian, whatever market I'm in. Like I need to know the lingo for that, because that's how I'm going to connect with those people. I can't speak Spain Spanish to my Cuban. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't. It's very different. um, Nancy, I wanted to ask you one last question,
Yeah.
and when this is all said and done, you guys are obviously already building a legacy, but what kind of legacy is it that you want to build? What does the future of YBM look like? I know it's probably a loaded question, but what does that look like for you?
I've been giving more thought to it. You know, my dream would be that this would be an organization that really helps every loan officer become that top 1%, because it's a lot easier than what you think it is. Sometimes it just takes someone believing in you and showing you the way.
Yes.
And that's really something that we're building and striving for with all of our loan officers. We have the resources, we have the platform, we have the experience. Robert is a top 1% originator.
I know. I always see the numbers. I'm like, man, this guy's killing it.
He's amazing. And I remember when I reached out to him, he's like, Nance, I want to come on. I'll be your LOA. I'm like, absolutely not. Like, you're not an LOA, Rob. Like, you're an originator. Yeah. Absolutely not. You're nuts.
You saw his potential.
So to see him, and he's just such a stand-up guy. And everyone on this team has potential. Everyone on this team, because at the end of the day, when we're hiring someone, it's not really just, okay, what's your production? It really has to do with who are they as a human being, right? Like, you can't teach heart. You can teach the skill set, but you want to surround yourself with people that are humble, that are willing to learn and to share, right? Share their own success, like pay it forward to the next one, that's joining the team.
Yeah, you guys have a really amazing culture over there. And I think that's why you have been so successful. And I've seen the growth in your company. I mean, you guys have had new team members hop on. Nancy and at Your Better Mortgage, for those of you that are curious, you're probably watching this video like, man, I would love to work with Nancy. I believe they're hiring, if I'm not mistaken. They're welcoming new loan officers. Nancy, where can everybody find you? Where can they get in contact with you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram. Sometimes I'm embarrassed by my own Instagram handle because it's Nancy_mortgage queen. I'm gonna blame that one on Cathy.
Wait, so what was it again? Nancy_mortgage queen?
Underscore mortgage queen.
Awesome. I'll put the links to her socials in the bio, and I'll put it on the screen as well.
Yeah. And then we have our page for Your Better Mortgage, and we have a ton of awesome, like, you can really get a sense of our dynamic here if you follow our YBM page.
Yeah.
You get to see all of the smiling faces. Our bell, our CTC bell, we haven't even had it up that long. The rope is already broken from.
Oh my goodness, that's good.
That bell. So it's been fun. A lot of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, I'm excited to see YBM's growth. I'm excited to see obviously how you guys continue to go down this journey, and I'm so grateful that we get to do this journey with you all. Once again, for those of you that are watching this, I thank you. Obviously, you've been listening to us for an hour. If this conversation didn't fire you up, didn't inspire you, I don't know what will. But seriously, if you don't like your broker, talk to Nancy. I'm joking, but seriously, they have an amazing team down here in South Florida, and they're going to be expanding very quickly. And if you're looking for a place that where culture is serious and they truly take care of their own, this is the place. And this is what Built Different is about. Built Different is about getting to meet the people that are building things differently, right? That are doing things differently. They're not like your typical broker. They really stand out. And I'm happy that you all got a chance to listen to Nancy. And we're probably going to have her back on here, maybe with Cathy and other people on the team. We definitely need to do that. I'll probably come by in person so we could do like a whole team interview because I think they need to hear from everybody. So if any of you know somebody in the mortgage industry that needs to listen to this, or this was for you, share it. Subscribe to continue watching. I'll put all the socials down below so you can connect with Nancy. And Nancy, just thank you so much for being on here. I really appreciate it.
You're amazing. I love speaking to you. There's never been a time that you don't bring your positive energy, and you're just, you're so welcoming. You're so welcome.
Thank you. Well, I think I'm coming to your office actually like this week, so I'll see you soon. Just oh man. Just so you guys know, when I came to the last office meeting, I didn't eat breakfast because I was in a rush. They gave me so much food and so much good coffee. I was so grateful. So, anyways, we'll leave it on that. Thank you so much, Nancy. I'll see you soon. And take care, subscribe, leave a like, comment down below, and get in touch with Nancy. Bye.
Thank you. See you.